that? So that's an advert. You know, we've given free advertising space this week as a sort of try before you buy for future. So I think that one, I love it to bits. And then this is the jingle, the official jingle.
Radio Funtime! Yeah!
Good morning. How are you all? Lights on or off? Videos on or off?
That was amazing.
I mean, what do we think of Lenny and Ernie's movie trailer? Just to put you on the spot in direct message, which we've never done before with anybody ever. Just good morning to you. Where are you tuning in from this morning?
So I'm tuning in from a place called Doncaster, but I like to call it the Donks. Trying to make it sound cooler than it is. Rebranding. Yeah.
So you're in a very plant festooned place, aren't you? Is that what the Donks is like?
So a lot of people are asking me if I'm in the Caribbean or in a beach house at the moment. Yeah, the Donks is not a tropical place. But I love growing plants and everything. So at the moment, you know, because we've had a lot of frost recently, so I'm trying to grow some vegetables and sunflowers. I keep having to bring them back into the house every night because it's so frosty. But yeah, since lockdown, these plants have thrived. I think it's because I'm talking so much, so they're taking in all of my carbon dioxide.
There's something symbiotic happening there. Now you've got a little well, do you want to say what you're up to at the moment as well? Because we haven't used this as a political platform at all this particular week, but it seems a shame not to give what we would consider one of the most colourful candidates for taking over the world and making the world a better place. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to.
Okay, brilliant. So just a little background on me generally. I am an artist, but I retrained in healthcare. So I'm also a cancer specialist. So I treat cancer with radiation, so a therapeutic radiographer. I also work in public health, which is about the health of the community. So I, you know, working in all these different things through creativity. So I get to be really creative and design things all the time, which is kind of awesome. I thought the next foray, my next step is going into local council. So there's not, women are not represented as much as a local councillor, and a lot of people don't know what a local councillor is as well. So I've been getting all people of all ages to come and help me leaflet and campaign this week. And one of them was a 7-year-old boy called Logan, and he said to me, he was very upset because he had to finish his art class a little bit earlier than we wanted. And he was like, so why do you want to be a counsellor anyway? And, you know, 7-year-olds always ask the best questions. And for me, I want to be a different kind of local counsellor. I want to make sure your local counsellor gets to decide what investments happen. And you also get to do what we call casework, which is you go and see your local counsellor. They have a surgery, a little bit like like your doctor GP does, and you go and see them and you bring them problems you're having about the community or your life that you've not been able to fix elsewhere. So most of the work's that, and then the other is like investment and being part of the community and working with people. And I do most of that anyway, so I thought, well, I'd love to be able to bring real change into this area, represent females, represent artists. We're definitely underrepresented in politics, and bring that creativity and fun. And what I want to bring to my area, which is Adwick and Carcroft in Doncaster, is art, culture and sport, and getting healthy, active lives and doing it through creativity and fun. And I'm a Labour councillor, but anything, I don't really want that label. I just want more the person-centered stuff.
Amazing. And hopefully, you're leading the way will encourage other people to feel like it's not a wholly hostile environment to be both creative and civic and play your part, I suppose, because it can seem a little daunting. So good on you. Now you've got a tiny 2-minute challenge for us all, haven't you, this morning, Sarah?
So I love drawing. Drawing's my bread and butter. And I believe drawing is a great way to communicate things that are often quite hard to communicate as well. So if everybody would just like to get some pens or paper, whatever you've got that you could draw with, it could be chalk if you're outside, whatever. You can use shapes to do this. It could be as abstract as you want. Draw how you're feeling right now and what you're projecting for the rest of the day. And like I said, there's different tricks to doing that if you want any. So I always find drawing squares or circles or triangles and building them up is a great way if you're a little bit anxious about drawing, but there's no rules. It could be one line, so I like to sometimes set people that they can only draw with one line and then they can't take their pen off the paper as well, so that always looks really cool.
Okay, so we've got 2 minutes starting from, has everybody got what they need? I know Claire hasn't, she's now out seeking owls, by the way. Good morning, Claire. She's in the middle of Leeds.
Hello,
Quite rightly with a very
everyone.
beautiful flowers Claire mask on.
How are you all today? Fantastic to see you. So yeah, I'm in Leeds, which is a rare treat at the moment. So I'm heading up to the library to try and find my first owl.
I think you're cheating because you've already seen one, haven't you? You're starting from your comfort zone there.
Yeah. I am cheating. I know where it is. It's in our tapestry. I'm hoping they'll let me in.
They better let you in because you work there.
Hopefully. They might not want me anymore. So yeah, we've got this wonderful tapestry on the first floor of Central Library. And there should be an owl in there. And then I'm going to go up to Millennium Square because there's a big gold owl up there. And I kind of have in the back of my mind that there's a QR code on it. And we can listen to a poem by Khadija Ibrahim. But I'm not sure if that's still live or not. So I'm going to try and find out. Because Khadija's one of my favourite people of Leeds, Khadija. So
tell us a little bit more about Khadija whilst we're all drawing our feelings this morning.
So I'm going to take my mask off because I'm hard to breathe and talk and walk. But there's not a lot of people around. So Khadija runs Leeds Young Authors, and she's just an absolutely wonderful woman. She's inspired young people to write poetry and perform all over the world. She took a group of young people to the slam dunk in America, and I think they've won and they've come second. And when I worked in Studio 12, we worked with her a lot, and she mentored young people to write their poetry, and we turned them into films with them. And now her daughter Rahima, or Mims, runs the Sunday practice at the Cellar Bar, and that's an open mic for poetry and music every Sunday, first Sunday of the month. I'm hoping it's going to be starting back up soon, but it's just a wonderful, joyful, energetic, welcoming vibe when you go there. Highly recommend it.
Amazing. I think we tried to get in contact with Rahima, but I think she was a bit busy, but we'd love to continue Radio Funtime and have Khadija and Rahima on it.
Yes,
Yeah,
that would
so
be
good.
lovely. Right, I'm sneaking into the library. Let's
Okay,
see.
we're going to put you on pause, Claire, and we're going to now ask people to reveal their feelings. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, that's it. What have we got there, Adrian? What's it say? No, it's start. No, look
How
at
it
that.
started.
That's a
how it's
very
going
good
late.
little visual clue about the bike as well. We'll get back to that. BMX skid marks later. I don't know if you can see this. Is that... What? It's good fun trying to do it without taking your pen off the paper.
It's a good trick. It's a good trick. And, you know, if you're out and about and sketching buildings, or, you know, if you're wanting to take your sketchbook out and do what we call urban sketching, which is just basically drawing what's around you outside, then that's a really good, quick way to capture what you want, just keeping your
Ooh,
pen.
Emily, that's good.
And the crazy thing as well with Claire, I'm pretty sure that I've worked with that poetry group that she was talking about. I think I did a drawing for Sheffield Doc Fest for that movie. I got to choose a movie, a documentary that I liked, and did a drawing, poster, film homage to it, and it was in the Showroom Theatre in Sheffield, because it was my favorite documentary that year. I can't remember what year it was.
No, We Are Poets. If you haven't watched it, I think you can get it online. It's the most beautiful, wherever you're based in the world, actually. I really don't. I mean, it is very, very. If you're from Leeds, it makes you feel very proud of Leeds, actually. But I think beyond that, it's just so amazing. This group of young people, and yeah, I just think it shows how that teamwork as well. It's a wonderful film. We Are Poets. Do look it up. Sarah, I don't know if you can stay with us for the full hour. I hope you can and chip in and continue. But obviously, if you've got to pound the pavements, do take your chalk out with you and chalk #love to play 2021 and then pass it on.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, stay if you can.
And I'm passing it on to, well, it's Lisa next to me, but I don't know if that's who it is. Brilliant.
Nice one.
And I'm going to stay because this is really fun.
Well, we want to continue this forever. Come on. Lisa, you ready for a quiz?
I am. Could you let me share my screen, please?
Oh, I haven't done this already. Gosh.
I don't think
I think
so.
by day 8, I'd have been a practiced, polished pro. I can't even speak anymore. There we go. There we go. Is that working for you?
Yes. Right. Let's see.
I hope this
Okay.
isn't so hard that we're going to weep.
So it's I'm going to try and I'm hoping that this will work. I didn't test it on the screen sharing, actually. Let me switch those around so you can see. So if you've got a pen and paper handy, there obviously is a right answer, but everyone can have a guess with all of these. I had a bit of fun last night looking at the Guinness World Records to see what the biggest or the longest or the furthest things were kind of to do with play. And I think my favourite one is this first one, which
This one's
is,
for Wendy. Wendy's got a dog like this, haven't you, back home?
can Wendy's dog skateboard? This question is, how many people did Otto, the skateboarding dog, travel under to make the longest human tunnel travelled through by a skateboarding dog, which is one of the most specific world records? So I'll go through all the questions and then we'll do the answers. So if you write down how many you think, how many people could a dog on a skateboard travel under? Like, he's not a professional, but he's probably much better on a skateboard than I could ever be.
I'm worried about the size of people's bridges there. Okay, carry on. No more
Yeah,
talking,
Emma. So have a think and write down your answer.
Okay.
That's the first question. So the next question I've got is, How old was Jaden Ashman, who's the world's youngest esports millionaire from a single tournament? So this is someone who won, I think it was around £1 million, $1 million by taking part in one online gaming tournament. How old do you think he was to be the youngest esports, so that's electronic sports, millionaire from a single tournament? I also really like the picture of this because it reminded me of the jousting robots.
It's
from
also, we got a
Thursday.
hobby horse session at 4 o'clock this afternoon,
And the
which we
hobby
close
horse,
with.
yes.
This is perfectly picked, wasn't it? You did this on purpose. Thank
Kind
you.
of, yeah.
Okay, how old?
Yeah, so how old do you think he was? A millionaire.
Okay.
Next. How long in meters was the longest hopscotch game? So this is how long did they manage to draw out one single hopscotch game to be able to play? I think this is actually a picture of them setting it up, or it could be some random people doing a big hopscotch game. I'm not entirely sure. And then I thought this was incredible. And apparently it took them 2 years trying to do this to make it work, because I don't think it's got any supporting structures in it. How high is the world's tallest sandcastle? It's clearly taller than those marquees, and marquees are quite tall.
I mean, if you look at the size of the people. Ooh.
Yeah, they're a good clue. I say a good clue. I'm terrible at working out sizes on things, so I'm glad that I'm the host on this because I wouldn't be able to guess. And then the next one. How big was the world's largest blanket fort in Oregon? I loved making forts with a couple of dining chairs and a dust sheet, but these are all. I was looking at the pictures that went with this, thinking, so where's the fort? And all of these people are in the fort. That's not the fort in the background. They put up lights. They played a game. They had a dance party in this massive fort, and playing like the floor is lava. And yeah, it's enormous. It's at this convention centre, which they've kind of made structures and covered in blankets.
Do you mean big as in how many people, or in circumference, or what sort of big are you talking about?
That's a good question. What are the measurements I've got? The metre squareage, like the area.
Okay.
So yeah, how wide was it? Not how high is it? Because I think it varied in height.
Yeah, we're getting some comments here. I'd love to go to a blanket fort nightclub. Sounds
Wouldn't
good.
that be good? It'd be so much fun.
Could you have a nap room as well?
Oh, yes, exactly.
That's my favourite bit of all parties, is go to sleep.
And then the next one, this was the closest I could get to an actual hobby horse, was how tall is the largest rocking horse? Now, there have been lots of big rocking horses. Apparently, there's a giant rocking horse in Australia, which is just there as, like, someone's built it as one of the giant objects in Australia as a kind of sightseeing thing. But this is the largest rocking horse in the world, built in China a few years ago.
Wow. That's cool. Okay.
And I think it has to be, you've got a picture. I think that's the right height of the guy, because it has to rock and actually work rather than just being a model.
You can get a few people in a cage there, look.
Yes. And then I've got one more question, and it was nothing to do with playing, but I thought it was quite interesting because I tested this on my friends last night, and 2 of them knew the precise answer, which is, how tall was the tallest man ever recorded? I was so amazed. I thought this is one of those facts that everyone's like, oh yeah, they must be quite tall, but they don't know. And two people on the call, and I suppose this shows the kind of friends I've got, said the exact number in meters as well, even though I still talk about height in feet and inches. So yeah, that's a bonus.
We're doing this in meters. Oh no.
Oh, you can. I've got both. I've got both.
Okay, phew.
Because I don't know how high things are in meters.
No.
The only thing I know is that a door is about 2 meters.
It's a useful knowledge, though, that a door is, because that gives you a bit of sense, doesn't it? Could he get through a door?
And my husband is 6'5", and he can just get through doors.
Okay, this is very useful. So
that's
that's
the
7 questions. When do we answer these questions? Now?
I've got the answers. I haven't got slides with the answers, but we can do the answers now, or we can come back to it later. It's up to you.
Let's just make sure Claire's not got something that she needs us to sort of be interrupted. Where is Claire? Are you in front of something, Claire, that we need to see?
Hello. Can you hear me okay? I'm
Yes.
in the Leeds Art Gallery, and this is just showing you the Leeds Tapestry book, which tells you all about our tapestry. And now I'll run through. I've broken my rule of no running, and I'll show you the owl that I found on the tapestry.
This really is Challenge Annika for those who actually remember Challenge Annika. Claire is running. We just can't see your backpack, so to speak.
That's my theme tune. If you've got a better one, go for it. So this is the owls in the tapestry. Aren't they beautiful? I don't know. So these were created for the Millennium 2000 with an artist, Kate, and I've forgotten her last name. And we have tapestries going along the whole of the corridor. So really stunning. I always like the sheep in our coat of arms. Doesn't look very happy. But yeah. So now I'll go on to Millennium Square and I'll try and find the gold owl over there.
That's wonderful. And how lovely for you to be back in our favourite place in Leeds.
I love it here. I'm very lucky to work in this building. You'll see me going down the beautiful tiled stairs, and this is our wonderful atrium. And then you'll see me going through the kind of back way that no one normally gets to see.
Oh.
And in normal times, we do tours of the building as well, if you're ever interested in finding out some of the history. Apparently, it used to be a museum and we had a snake and it died and now haunts of the building.
That's very Slytherin, isn't it?
Yes, it's very Hogwartsy, really.
Isn't it? It is one of the most beautiful. I mean, I know that you've got lovely libraries over there in Liverpool, Adrian, and you know, probably not quite as nice as this one, though. Hey.
I wonder if I can sneak in through the tiled hall. I'm not sure.
Nicer. Fewer robots in it than the last time I remember being in Leeds Library.
That's that's a nice segue. It's pity your turn next, isn't it? I mean, you have to bring that one up again in a minute. So Lisa, quickly scan through the questions and then we'll bring in Emma. So where did we get to? We had 7 questions.
We did.
Be honest with your marking, people. No cheating.
Okay. Let me share my screen, and I've got I'll go through the questions again really quickly. Share screen. Sharing that one. Put it into presenter mode. Switch them around.
You're very polished at all of this, aren't you? Have you done this before?
I've never hosted a quiz before, but
I thought you had when I asked you yesterday at no time.
Not online like this. I've hosted. Now I can't remember how to switch it round. Having said that, how do I switch it?
You can go backwards. We can do that. Don't worry. Go whichever way you want.
I'm going to stop sharing and start again, and hopefully it just means you see the presenter notes and what's coming next if I don't do it right.
We don't think.
But share screen. Screen 2. Let's do that. Is that working? You're just seeing a black screen now, aren't you? I feel like we jinxed it.
Yeah, never mind. How about
Right.
you just tell us?
I'll tell you the answers. So the first question was, how many people did Otto the skateboarding dog travel under to make the longest human tunnel?
Everybody put their answer quickly in chat now. Beverley saying 250.
Oh, there's some very close answers here coming in.
Really? Who's the warmest?
The warmest at the moment is Adrian and Sarah, who both said the same thing, and you're the closest. The actual answer was 30.
30, wow. What a dog.
That's good dog skateboarding knowledge.
That is good. That's a very useful bit of knowledge to have as well. 30, bloody hell. Yeah, good boy Otto, says Wendy.
And then, how old was Jaden Ashman?
Okay, same again. Quick answers in the chat.
My favourite thing is that he looks very young in his pictures. Sarah, you're really good at this, though.
She's been
far,
Googling.
Sarah's the closest again. Oh, Sarah and Malu are closest, I think. Oh, no, that would have been from the Otto one. So the actual answer is 15 years and 29 days.
Wow.
229 days. So was that 15 and 2/3 or something? He's better known among gamers as Wolfies, and he walked away from one of the biggest tournaments with over $1 million in his pocket.
Yeah, stunning bugger.
So how long in meters was the longest hopscotch game?
You know the score now, everybody in the chat. So
And this is much bigger than I thought it was, and I wrote the question.
1,002. Adrian saying 400 meters, the same size as the Ever Given container ship in the Suez.
I like the comparison to size. At the moment, Rich is the closest.
Really? I said 1,000.
Yeah, he's got 2 meters more than you. He put 1,002, Emma.
Oh, and Emma Beverley said 1,000 as well.
It's enormous. The longest hopscotch game measures 6,131 meters and was created in China with 1,518 standard hopscotch games, and over 300 participants took part. I feel like it's a little bit cheating because it sounds like it was actually made up of lots of separate ones, but the longest game, I had 300 people took part over 2 days, and 5 of them finished the whole game, and they did it in 8 hours 55 minutes. Can you imagine hopscotching for 6,131 meters? You'd have buns of steel. So go back to the tallest sandcastle. How high is the world's tallest sandcastle?
Okay, answers in the chat. Okay. That was extraordinary, by the way. Where was that one?
So that was in China. In Jiangsu.
All the world record things going on in China.
Right. Got some close answers again here. Adrian is almost spot on.
He's been Googling. I'm a sore loser.
So the tallest was 17.65 meters, which is 57 foot 11, and that was in Germany in 2019. And apparently the record was broken for the Sand Sculpture and Festival's 10th anniversary, which is quite nice for them and their festival. And then the world's largest blanket fort. How many meters squared was it? And I cannot do area, so if anyone gets anywhere near this, I'll be well impressed. How many meters square was the world's largest blanket fort?
Oh, back.
Oh, if we took the average between Laura and Emma Beverley, they would be closest at the moment. If you've ever played Richard Osman's House of Games, the average is round. You guys should pair up. So the world's largest blanket fort was 625.79 meters squared.
Oh.
And it was achieved by a horrible sounding agency called Murder Boat Productions and Rumpel in Portland, Oregon. And apparently the blankets were donated to homeless charities after it as well.
That's good.
And then how tall was the largest rocking horse?
Yeah.
Gosh, I've got all the measurements here for the rocking horse, but I'm just going for tall because that was the question I asked. Oh, Adrian and Laura again are. Adrian and Laura could team up and be the average.
You evidently understand spatial things, basically, is what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I'm like, I don't know, 3 meters. And then you said your husband's 2-something meters. I'm like, okay, maybe not.
So the tallest rocking horse was 12.727 meters high. I'm not sure which these other measurements are because it sounds weird, but so it was 12.7 meters high by 4.5 meters wide by 8.2 meters long.
Fair play.
And then the last question, the bonus question, how tall was the tallest man ever? In meters or feet? I have both.
Oh, me and Sarah are very close on this one.
Yeah. And actually, you're both the closest so far, I think. And I find this mind-boggling. So knowing that my husband, I joked on the first night out in the pub the other night for ages. I was like, Nick's the tallest kind of guy that you get normally. Like taller than Nick is very tall. And this person is like 2.5 feet taller than Nick.
Wow.
He was 8'11".
Whoa.
2.72 meters or 8'11", which just seems, yeah, I can't. And he was born, well, he was from the 20th century. Like he was last measured in June 1940.
Wow. Amazing. This has been an amazing quiz. Really brilliant. Thank you, Lisa. I'm a bit flummoxed by all of these very big world records. I think we should try some of these kind of world records in our own hometowns,
Yeah,
really.
make your blanket fort and do some
Yes.
hopscotch.
What does everybody fancy? Pop it in the quiz. Now I'm going to segue over to Emma Beverley. Oh, she's made this crocheted beautiful playground behind her. How well done, Emma.
Yeah, handcrafted by
That's beautiful.
Did you do that whilst we were talking?
Yes, no, I didn't. I can't take credit for this. This is somewhere that I really want to visit at some point in my life. It's inside this giant open air museum in Japan, and it's a completely knitted playground inside this massive wooden structure. And I've got loads of pictures of it. I just think it's beautiful. There's actually people swinging on those things behind me.
It's just the most beautiful thing ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, I know that you're not just a producer at Leeds 2023. There's more to you than just that job title, isn't there?
Well, not for the next few years. I don't think I'll get out of bed otherwise.
So do you want to tell, actually, before we get started, do you want to have the spinner wheel question? Yeah. Okay, hang on a sec. So here we go. The Wheel of Names, it's called. And this was started by my daughter because she wasn't going to be around for much of the week. She was in Cornwall having fun on the beach. Okay. Very daft question, this one. Ooh.
Ooh. Speak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think she thought she'd happily lose the ability to read, though. She asked that question. Let's give you another quick one. I thought you were going to get the shark one, actually. Okay. So just warning you, last time we asked this question, it took us off on a diversion, which was very hard to get back from. So 2 minutes maximum answering this one, please.
Yeah, well, I think based on the chat so far, it's probably that for me, dogs are quite possibly the worst animals to be around. Yeah, exactly. I knew I was going to get that response.
What?
I can feel the emotional,
I know.
reading the room here.
I
Come on,
know.
tell us why, Emma.
Oh, very bad experiences, but also definitely a cat person. You can't see, but I've got a cat hammock behind me, and I just think that they're my spirit animal, 100%. But yeah, really scared of dogs, which is quite sad actually. I always get really jealous of people who've got really nice dogs around them. I do like looking at them from afar.
Yes.
Like from anywhere near me, I walk in the opposite direction.
Do you feign that you're cool though? Just sort of like, it's not you, you're not sort of pretending. Or do you think your fear is mine? Look, that's what is provoked in our house. It's like, how dare you? A puppy. She's like, no, sorry, Emma. So do you get the fear?
I do get the fear, and like my partner Jack is really embarrassed about it because even puppies, which are like the cutest, on pictures, far away, super cute, anywhere near me, I'm just like, danger. Opposite direction.
It's not fun though if you've had a bad experience growing up, is it? Really, in a world full of dogs.
I know, and there's so many of them now as well, all these lockdown puppies. They're everywhere. I feel like all of my walks around the park, there's definitely 3 times the amount of dogs than what there used to be.
I think you should take your cats with you, because my cats follow me on a walk and they terrify all the dogs. They're just so like unfussed by the dogs, and the dogs are like, oh, you're supposed to run away at this point. And my cat's just like, yeah. I think cats could go with you and they'd give you like a force field of, confidence.
My cat's a proper scaredy cat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a proper scaredy cat. He's also very, very loud. So like I have to shut the door because as soon as he hears other people's voices on the video calls, now that we're all working from home, you can't actually hear anything other than the cat.
He's a talker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be scared of cats, but now I've realized how like evil they are. I absolutely adore them. I follow Lord, what's his name? He's just an evil hairless cat on Instagram, and he's just the best, pure evil.
He's a pure evil cat.
Yes. Look,
have you got another owl? Oh, is this it? Here, the golden owl here.
So
statues.
Sorry, Emma, I'm interrupting.
Okay.
So let me try and scan it. Here we go. I can speak to. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. Yes, Khadija Ibrahim, animated by Claire Benedict. It's about what the owl sees as she flies over and watches the city. I can try and get it. The audio. Maybe.
And have a go. And if not, we can always put a link to talking statues in the chat for everybody to have a listen if we can't do that.
Yeah, give me a minute, I'll be back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Emma, I call myself M, by the way. I don't know, are you an Emma or an M?
I'm an M.
So M, tell us about your playful year of 2023. What's that all about?
What's the year of 2023 or about, or the playful year of 2023?
Well, I'm hoping it's playful.
So Leeds 2023, if you haven't heard about it, because not everyone has, is going to be a year of 365 incredible experiences in Leeds and online and in other places as well, because we are part of a bigger place. So there'll be stuff across West Yorkshire too, and I'm sure maybe as well we might be able to do some things on moving things that go between places.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You are the keeper of secrets. Can we tickle you in submission this morning? Give us a hint.
I don't know if there are any secrets, actually, to be honest. I think at the moment what we're doing is trying to go out and speak to a lot of different people about some of the thinking that's behind some of the programme. So we've got 5 programming strands. And we've only just really started to kind of share them a bit more widely so that we can get feedback. But one of the strands that I wanted to talk about today is really relevant because it's playful adventures. And that's about us trying to turn Leeds into a playground. So what does that look like? What can that kind of manifest? I've now got all sorts of things bumping out of my brain about giant hopscotches and dogs on skateboard. I mean, that for me might be dreadful. Do you know what I mean? Maybe the dogs on skateboard weekender is when I don't come in to the city. But good therapy. Who knows? We've got to try it. But yeah, so that's and it's probably, if I'm really honest, you're not supposed to have favorites, but it's probably the strand that I'm really, really, really looking forward to as well.
It's all safe here. Like I said, this won't get shared any wider. It will get shared.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we can all get excited about that, can't we, folks? Wherever we are in the world. So what can we do to help?
Oh, so much, because actually, you know, even when I think about it, I go, gosh, it's going to take the whole city to get behind it, to make it really special. And I think that with the year that we've had this last year as well, and just where everybody's at currently, everybody's had such a difficult time. Actually, it's something that we can really work towards together. And the way that I'm trying to talk about it at the moment, because it's only a year, so it's really time limited. But what it can be is a bit of a jumping off point and a bit of a catalyst to try out some new things together that maybe we've not been able to do in the city before. And I think that's what I'm really looking forward to, and maybe some of those really surprising collaborations or partnerships that could happen when you get artists working with lots of different types of people and loads of different disciplines and kind of specialisms together, just to see what comes out of that. I'm really
loads of experimental stuff then.
Yeah, hopefully.
Perfect. That's just what we like. Well, that's very exciting to hear, isn't it? So I'm sure everybody on this call and who listens will want to stay involved and find out more. So do you want to give a plug for how we'll find out what you're up to and how to get in contact?
Yeah, so we've got our website. At the end of May, we're going to be doing some more kind of public facing events. So keep a lookout for all of those. And I'll share the information as well on all of our kind of social media handles. And then the other thing I was going to mention is that on the 28th of April with Leeds Digital Festival, we're also doing 3 events that kind of give a bit of a flavour of some of the different kind of questions we're asking ourselves at the moment around how can you be quite playful in a digital setting, and what does that mean in terms of like online playfulness. So we've commissioned a group in Leeds called Closed Forum to create a thing called that they're calling a digital Leeds, which is on this platform called Gather Town. I don't know if any of you have ever used it. I mean, I love that stuff. So and they've kind of created this space that's about what exists in the kind of imaginary spaces in between our neighbourhoods. And they're kind of inviting people to come on for a couple of hours. It's a real work in progress, but to kind of build those imaginary spaces with them. And if you're an artist and you've got work that kind of lives online in some setting as well, you can like add in your work there so that loads of different people can experience it. So please come to that and kind of help us make this hopefully growing online space that will kind of build towards the year and beyond.
And Lisa's just said that sounds amazing. It does. And I love the idea of the spaces in between as well. Those borderlands and the places where exciting things happen quite often is between the boundaries. So look forward to having a dip into that, and something that's a work in progress as well, because it always feels like very exciting when things are just forming and formulating. Thanks, Emma. I know that you'll pop Leeds 2023 details into the chat, won't you? And we'll share this and get everybody excited. And there's no excuse for not taking part, everybody, she said in a headmistress kind of way. Now, Ricky and Adrian, you two are up next. Ricky's last because he's been doing some house showing around kind of stuff, apparently. Adrian is over in Liverpool. And I'm just aware that Claire is doing something. So we'll just hop over to see what Claire's doing. Then we'll talk to Adrian, and then we're going to close off with a lovely story from Ricky. So Claire, where are you now?
I'm still at the Golden Owl on Civic Square, Millennium Square, and it's beautiful, but I cannot get the audio to work, I'm afraid. So I'm afraid no Khadija poem at the moment. Next, I'm going to head off and try and find some more owls on the Civic Building, and then to the Leeds Museum.
Do we know how many owls there are in Leeds? Has anybody ever counted them all?
I do not know. I know that someone was asking which is the most common owl in the UK, and apparently it's the tawny owl from a very quick Google that I did. I'm not an expert.
I've got a few in my kitchen.
Which
very
owl
bad
is it?
joke, I'm afraid. The tea towel.
Oh, I'm not segueing over to you next. Ricky can go next for that, Adrian.
Bad joke. Love it.
Thinking about it, the owl to the liver bird.
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Do you also know there's a peregrine falcon on the town hall roof, and you can watch a video of a live stream from it apparently. And if you ever go up there, there's lots of dead pigeons. Anyway, on you go. Over to the live bird.
Excellent. There's a live cam of a pair of peregrine falcons in a church in Woolton, I think, in South Liverpool. They've got like a Twitter account, and that's been quite cool because they're nesting and they've laid eggs, and so they kind of assume at some point soon there'll be peregrine falcon chicks kind of hatching there and being filmed. Just, nothing to do with me. It's just a cool thing I've seen on Twitter. You're very quiet, Emma, despite not being muted. But while you're working that out, I'm going to share my screen, because then I can show the liver bird. No, still technical issues in the main studio.
Emma seems to be having some issues with her sound.
Doesn't she?
I'm sure she'll be back in a minute. So what's going on with your liver bird over in Liverpool? Can we interact with that?
You can. For another, well, I don't know, probably at least until Monday, because I don't think I'm going to be back in until Monday. So I'm not going to turn it off until then, at least. But yeah, for the entire Love to Play festival, we've had the liver bird up and running. So so I've got some like little circuit board that I designed, which has got a little tiny computer on it. And this computer's got Wi-Fi on it as well. And so it can talk to the internet. And then we can plug lots of lights into it, like the ones in this liver bird that you can see on the screen.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, I really like this one. This is a pattern called Flow that's kind of just really colourful. But you don't get to choose what colour because it's just got its set kind of colour palette that it uses. And basically on Twitter, if you tweet, does the liver bird play? Sure. If you tweet that hashtag and then a colour and or a pattern, there's a big list of patterns. I can't remember now. Cylon Dual is quite good. Rainbow is quite, that one, you know, doesn't pay any attention to your colour. It just does a kind of cool fadey rainbowy thing. And yeah, basically I've got some code written that connects to Twitter, looks for that hashtag, and then when you send messages with that, it makes the liver bird that's in my office in Does Liverpool kind of makerspace that I'm part of. It's on the wall in there, and it does kind of, you know, funky colours. And then if you want to see it, it's being live streamed on YouTube, which is what we're watching at the moment. So there's a kind of, you know, I think maybe a 30-second delay or so. Oh, there we go. Somebody's changed it. So somebody set it green.
Oh, it's magic.
No, it's not. It's just a bit of code and some electronics.
Yeah, right. We can all do this, can't we?
Yeah, you know, you might have to sit through 2 hours of me doing live coding, because there is a video on the YouTube, on my YouTube channel, when I didn't do all of it, but did the kind of connecting it to somebody's rainbowed. Yes, that rainbow is a good one. Like, and
I keep putting things in Twitter which don't exist, like jiggle.
Yeah, but you know, I can't remember. I don't think there is, but you know, maybe there is. But it's good. You can kind of invent your own colours and stuff, like the Dead Pigeon Gallery over here in Liverpool. So it's just kind of an artist collective and gallery. They kind of roam around the space. And it's called the Dead Pigeon Gallery because the first ever exhibition was upstairs from where we are in the Tapestry building, and it was whilst it was being refurbed just before we moved in. And they went up to have a look around and found a load of well, not loads of dead pigeons, but there were loads of pigeons and some of them were dead. So that's where they got the name from for the Dead Pigeon Gallery. But they had, what was it, something like, I can't remember now. It was like a pigeon yellow, but it was like toxic pigeon yellow or something like that.
Rich has asked, does the Liverbird play the Beatles hits? Good question, Rich.
It doesn't need to. When you're in Liverpool, you're never more than kind of 20 meters away from somebody playing like some Beatles song.
Oh my goodness. So people can continue to play this until when?
Well, at least until Monday, because I don't think I'm going to be in the, well, even if I am in the office, I'm not going to turn it off until Monday. At least I'm back in on Monday. And I don't know when I'm going to turn it off. I suppose actually I might want my camera back at some point. That's probably going to be the deciding factor. So that we might leave a load of the rest of it up and running. But
you should. It's so delightful, and it's nice to know
yeah,
that you can
but you
just
might have
tweet.
to come and visit.
Oh, well, you know that I want to do that anyway. So that's my invitation. Yeah. We'll come and do the next Radio Funtime from your place.
We're getting a radio station moving in next door. They're building stuff in the yard at the moment.
I bet ours will be more fun.
There's a radio station called Melodic Distraction moving into the yard. So yeah, it's a good area for you to come and run Radio Funtime. You can do it in the events room.
Amazing.
And then loads of different coloured lights hanging on the wall that we can make. They can run the same software, so we can do similar things with them. But they're kind of geometric shapes from another project that I did.
Amazing. Now, Adrian, I'm very conscious that, as usual, my timekeeping is pants. So do you mind if I'm really rude and interrupt you and introduce Ricky?
No, that's fine. Yeah.
All right.
Stop sharing my screen.
Ricky can obviously tweet this, does the Liverbird play as well later. And let's segue into Ricky. Are you there, Ricky? Where are you?
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Where are you calling from, caller?
So I'm from right down on the south coast in Southampton, and I work at the Isle of Wight NHS Trust. So I have the pleasure of catching a ferry every morning over to the island and back again as well. So which is amazing fun. Yeah, it's great to be here, and thank you for inviting me, and great to hear all the great stuff that's happening across the country. And just listening with fascination with what Emma Beverley was talking about in terms of the Leeds 2023. I wonder if we can franchise that over here at the Isle of Wight, which would be quite good as well. So
results. What would an incredibly playful? I mean, I've been to the Isle of Wight, and it is already playful. You have donkeys in wheels, which seem to be powering something in castles. I'm not quite sure what though. I never did quite work that bit out. Yeah, that seems quite playful.
It's interesting. There's a donkey sanctuary there. I visited it once, but they wouldn't let me leave because I thought I was trying to escape. So, yeah, there's some amazing places there. You've got Osborne House, Queen Victoria's residence, and which you're allowed to go into the grounds and into the property, into Osborne House. So there's some beautiful places there, and quite some places hidden away from the tourist line. Where you'd think you're in the Caribbean. So how many beautiful coves and caves that there are. The only downside, which is not very fun, is and I did seriously consider whether I should join the organisation, is they don't have a Nando's or a Wagamama's. So I really had to seriously consider my decision in working over there. But I was like, what do you eat? With no Nando's and Wagamama's. It's like
you have to make your own versions up, maybe.
Yeah.
know about that.
No, so a tweet caught my eye back in maybe March. I think it might have been March, about Alice and how she was instrumental in one of your, probably I'm imagining, rather boring Teams meeting. I'm not saying that you'd lead a boring Teams meeting, obviously, but Teams can be quite boring. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Alice is the daughter of my executive PA. So she provides business support to our service, a fantastic colleague and friend. And interestingly, Alice, her 5-year-old daughter, caught my eye because I could see her walking past her kitchen from her laptop. And, she said to me, she actually thought I was born in 1892 with my lockdown hair and my beard. So and I had to assure her that I'm not like 120 years old. But interestingly, Steph, our business support, I could see she was getting quite agitated. Not agitated, that's the wrong word, but just felt uncomfortable with Alice interrupting the session and wanting her attention. And so I immediately took it on myself to interview young Alice, to appoint her as our director of fun. Because we've been working under such challenging circumstances managing through the pandemic. And I thought, what better to think of some activities than and young Alice can. So I interviewed her on the spot, much to the annoyance of my HR team, but Tom to get lost, to be honest. Yeah, so she was recruited on the spot with a fantastic benefit package of 10 bags of Haribos. It's the toughest negotiation I've ever come across, if I'll be completely honest. Microsoft and Google have already tweeted as well, saying we would like to steal Alice from the Isle of Wight. So I'm going to become her agent and try to negotiate that contract with a signing on fee, etc. So in terms of the activities, she's influenced a number of our fun activities at work. So whilst I've adopted the principles of Robert Seligman of positive psychology to introduce play principles at work, Proud Clouds, sporting activities. We had Leslie Saki, who's the previous Great British Boxing Champion, to do boxercise and boxing sessions and keep fit sessions. So we kind of do that kind of corporate stuff. But Alice just added another dimension in terms of thinking about more fun activities at work. So now we have colouring in activities as part of our team development activities. So it's really transformed the way we think about play at work. Play is really important at work. I'm a health psychologist by background, and yes, I'm a deputy director of organizational development, and which is working in HR and OD. But sometimes I forget about play at work as well, and it's really important that we introduce those principles. And hoping today, my final comment is I can make some connections with some amazing people here on the call today, where we can share some learning and maybe utilize some of your expertise in designing some work activities over at the Isle of Wight as well.
We love you, Ricky. You've invited us all, haven't you, to the Isle of Wight?
Absolutely. Yeah,
yes.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome.
This is going to be the best road trip ever, honestly. They've got Liverpool. We've been invited over to Ireland this week. It's like, oh, I need to put an Arts Council granting for us all to go on a Radio Funtime kind of Beatles-esque road trip somehow, in a healthy way, obviously, and not eating too many Haribos.
Obviously, it's Radio Roadshow. It'd be like Radio 1.
Go! Yes. So everybody's saying yes.
Put a play box on the back of a articulated lorry.
Yes.
Take
Adrian, can you be my business manager? You know I need one. Oh, actually, Ricky, in fact. Sorry, Adrian, I've just demoted.
No, that's. I think Ricky would be a much better business manager. I'm I'm good at spending the money and coming with crazy ideas. But
yes, that sounds familiar. So I know that we've gone past our 11 o'clock thingy, but Ricky, I just wanted to say, with the power that you wield, having got the likes of Google and others retweeting you and wanting to negotiate stealing Alice, which doesn't sound quite so good, really. How do we extol to other sort of serious organisational people the power of play, so that they can learn from you? Because it's quite a bold move, really. I'm going to give you some credit.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because the way the structure of the NHS is at the moment, we're developing something called integrated care system. So that's ICS, a bit boring, but basically it's just getting a coordination across our region. So here in the southeast, where I'm in Hampshire and Isle of Wight, the collection of NHS provider organisations are coming together, and you'll see those happening in the northwest, in the in the northeast, etc. as well. And I've got an affinity for the northwest because my first job was at Wigan for NHS Wigan, which is an interesting place where I learned the beauty of the Wigan pie, etc. So even in a batch, and well, I call it a batch, but a bun. I think you guys call it a cob or a bun, which is completely incorrect. It's called a batch. Where a pie is placed in the middle of that cob with loads of gravy and mushy peas and chips, which is absolutely amazing. But on a serious note, I think linking in with the ICS Leeds, and maybe we can continue a conversation via our new connection as well around how we can support. And it's a barm cake, I see. Yeah, remember that now. So
get it right.
But yeah, I can link you in with some regional chief people officers. My chief people officer, we could run as a pilot. She's a psychologist, occupational psychologist, and she would love this type of stuff. So there's an opportunity for us to potentially work together in terms of identifying a methodology of introducing play at work.
Oh my God, this is like the best way to end. Almost the best way to end what's been the most joyous week ever. So we'll all take you up on that. So we'll be, what's your Twitter? Pop it in there. Let's do a pincer attack on Ricky.
It's at Rick Somal. It's because it's Saturday morning. I've forgotten how to type, to be honest. But there we go, at Rick Somal.
Anybody else, pop your details in the chat as well. We've got two tiny final little things to do before we all leave. Number one, I've got to go through thanks. No, I'm not doing that now. It's not possible to do all the thanks. We'll be here for hours. So thanks to Lenny and Ernie, though, for their amazing trailer. To remind you, you've got until the end of the day to submit your pictures of your space den. Okay, so if you haven't made a space den, get on with it and share them. Love to Play 2021. There's a prize. There are 3 prizes, in fact. It's all on lovetoplay.fun website. The other challenge you've got is to make a hobby horse. And at 4 o'clock, join Codswallop, who are going to really show you how to do a proper one like a pro, how to ride one like a pro, in fact. So no excuse for that. It's all on the website. Talk anytime you fancy. Don't stop because this week's come to an end. Love to Play 2021. Just invite people into your world of playfulness, whether that's hopscotch, maybe how many miles that was, but little hopscotches, cheeky urban mischief type stuff, skidding, BMX, paint trails. That's another subject. And then finally, because Rich is so game for a laugh, and maybe Claire we haven't said goodbye to Claire either, which I'm feeling a bit guilty about, but I've asked Rich if he'll just sing us out. And where are you? Has he disappeared? There he is. Rich, are you happy to either get us singing something daft before we go? So anybody who wants to leave, it's tough. You've got to stay now. Rich is from Hope and Social, and hopefully he'll do something with owls in it.
With owls in it. Well, I thought what would be appropriate, seeing as you're Leeds and we have been talking about Liverpool, and given what day it is and the things that are happening which have royal concerns, and given that you, more importantly, are the queen of play, that we should play out with a Beatles song. It's possibly the shortest Beatles song. 3, 4. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she changes from day to day. I want to tell her that I love her a lot, but I gotta get a belly full of wine or gin. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, someday I'm gonna make her mine. Oh yeah, someday I'm gonna make her mine. There you go.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, Rich is from the best band in the world, Hope and Social, so check them out. And on my Radio Funtime playlist, which you've all been added to, by the way, and I'll share that after, your Eurospin song is my #1 song, Rich.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks, I love that song. So we'll share that playlist. Thank you, everybody. I see Marie's here, by the way. Do check out our website because her son, Sonic Gene, which we've shared during the week, made the most amazing Radio Funtime intro, stop animation. So all of this will get shared. So everybody who's contributed this week, it wouldn't be anything without you. And that's what play's about, really. It's fun to play alone, but it's even more fun to play together. Let's go change the world, everybody. Mwah!
Thank you, Emma. It's been great.
It's been, see everybody. We don't actually have to leave. I'm just going to stop recording. There we go.